Alright, so after you have installed Flexdashboard and restarted your RStudio, uh, open your RStudio in the project um, for today's class, and then click on File, New File, and select R Markdown. And in this dialog box, don't say OK at this point. Go down to this template, from template. So if your Flexdashboard installation is valid, it worked fine, then you should have this as the first. Usually it will be the first option here, Flexdashboard, right? So this is the template that we are going to use. Click OK, and that's the template that will be created for you immediately. So in a Flexdashboard, there will be some, I mean, this by default they put some text there. So if you are curious to know what exactly we are going to get if we knit this document, just save it first. So I'm going to just save it as temp, because I'm going to delete it. So I say temp. So once you save it, now you can knit this file. All right, and that's it. This is your Flexdashboard. Now the placeholder code does not have any visualizations, that's why you don't see anything here, but you get the idea. So if you put your ggplot code in panel A, then this chart A will show that, and chart B and chart C will show. So all these three charts are shown on the single dashboard, but you can create as many as you want there. You can even create a tabbed version. So I'm going to show you those examples in a moment. So that is where we are going. So it is just a layout package. The entire package is only to create a layout, and it works only with HTML. Now inside this, what you include is all your choice. You can include a static visualization using ggplot. You can include an interactive visualization using any of the HTML widget libraries like Plotly or HighCharter or Leaflet or anything over there. Alternatively, you can also include an entire Shiny app. So if you noticed in the website, I think they have that mentioned there. So let me close this and open the website, go back to the website, and you can see that they have a tab for Shiny here. So if you click on that tab, it will show you using Shiny with Flexdashboard. All right, so you see this is nicely, it has created a Shiny app, and it is using very simple controls here. So you can check this out. Now I don't use Flexdashboard much myself, so I won't be discussing a lot of things here, but as I mentioned to you before, this is something that is getting more and more is becoming more and more popular, and it's so easy to use that you can create really high quality dashboards really quickly with this. So in many cases, I would recommend people to use this rather than using Shiny or even Tableau. So all right, so let me go back to the code. So this let's take a look at the code and try to understand the structure of this file. So first of all, we look at the header. This is the YAML header, and in the header you have the similar arguments like title. You can write your name if you want. You can even write, I think, subtitle. In many packages it is possible to write a subtitle. More importantly though, in the output argument, you are now using this Flexdashboard : Flexdashboard. This Flexdashboard, the second argument here is not an argument, I mean it is the function, and it comes from this package Flexdashboard. So that is why they are writing it Flexdashboard : Flexdashboard. And then within this Flexdashboard, we are providing certain arguments. So we are first saying that there is orientation is columns. So usually you provide the orientation columns or rows, and it determines how you are going to fill up your visualization. So what you can do is that in this case you can actually change this to rows and see for it yourself. So you recall how it looked when you selected this as columns. Now say write orientation equal to rows, knit this document, all right, and this is what you will get. Okay, so first plot that took most of the space on left previously, now it is taking all the space on top. So it is asking you how do you want to orient your visualization. So what it will do is that it will go in, when you are setting it as columns, it will start filling up by columns. So it will go from left to right, and if you say it is rows, it will start filling up from top to bottom. Okay, so that is what is happening here. Interestingly though, you can see that, and this is something that is that is what makes this interesting, is that in this visualization we have plot A or chart A taking up the first full row, right? In the second chart though, we have taken up 2 columns in that row. Now what told Flexdashboard that this should be the layout? So that is the part that now we are going to see. Oh, by the way, there is this one more argument. There are multiple arguments. You can take a look at this in the documentation. So vertical layout, it is asking you whether you want to fill up everything that is given to you. So remember that in a HTML document, you can either have a set dimension fixed to the screen's height and width. Alternatively, you can say that you want to have this as continuing scrolling HTML file. So you can provide that argument value here. Instead of fill, you can say scroll, and then it will allow you to scroll down more and more. So you can add more visualization if you want. So so that's another argument you can use. Now let's go down and see your basic layout of this dashboard. So now let's set this back to columns where it was, so then it becomes easier for us to understand. I'm again just making, I'm knitting this to make sure that all of us are on the same page. So this was the original document with columns as our column settings, and we are going from left to right here like this. So once we go down, here is how we declare how we want to create our layout. So here we are saying that the first column will be 650 pixels wide. Okay, that is what we are saying. First column will be 650 pixels wide, and then once you write this line in plain English, you are expected to put at least 6 dashes here. So I think I always get confused between 4 or 6, but I think 6 is the safe number. So if you provide 6 or more, okay, it should be at least 6. So the moment you do that, Flexdashboard takes over and understands this as a layout of a column. Okay, so without those dash 6 dashes, it doesn't understand it. So then within this column, what do we want to show? So we are starting with a h3 header 3 HTML. So that is why 3 hash signs, and then we are writing chart A. Now this is totally up to you, whatever you want to say there, and then you can provide whatever chart you want to create. So in this case, we are not creating anything, so we can add more stuff here. Next, we go to the second column now, and in this column we do not specify. So we say that, by the way, this column is much narrower than the first one. So first one was 650 pixels. The second column is only 350 pixels, and then within that we are not specifying, as you see, we are just saying chart B and chart C, but we don't say whether it is going to be another column or row or something. But because this is all done under this heading of column, this is considered as basically two rows inside that column, because we are not defining a new column over here, and that is why we are getting this. Now, to be honest, a lot of times when I've seen this with my students also in previous batches, if they use this, they told me that a lot of times they just basically do a little bit of trial and error, because it is pretty costless, to be honest. So what they do is that they will create their layout first. They will not put anything inside this. So they literally like this right now, right? So this is a completely blank layout. So you can add more stuff, and if you want tabs or whatever, you can just keep on adding that like a placeholder code, but there is no actual plotting taking place. So once you knit this document, then you can take a look at the layout and see whether it looks good, whether you are happy with it. Sometimes you might be expecting a specific layout, but when you actually run this, it shows up some different layout. So you will handle all those issues, and then once you are satisfied with the layout, then you start actually writing the code inside each of these R chunks, which will be your, so it could be, by the way, it could be your static visualization, interactive visualization, Shiny app. It could be your table, if you want to put a table there. If you just want to put some text there, you can do that as well. If you want to put a picture there, yeah, sure, why not? So it can take anything, it doesn't matter, right? As you can see, it is everything, as long as it is an R chunk and you're writing some R code there, that will get rendered in that specific space. So they have put a lot of effort into making this little or abstracting a lot of code in this specific case or specification. So for example, you might be wondering that how does it determine that how much should be the height here? Now we decided on the width, but how is the height determined? So most likely it is picking up based on the screen size you are using. So if you are working on a tablet, for example, it will just determine the size of the HTML window based on the size of your tablet. So these kind of things are they're in abstract. So you are not looking at them directly. You don't control them. But that is the beauty of Flexdashboard, is that it makes it super easy to work with. So let us look at some of the layouts, because as I said that I don't use it very often. So I personally like to create a lot of examples of this, and then I use those examples in the class to show students that you change this, and this is how the output layout will look like. So for that, I have uploaded on Blackboard a folder. So if you go to your classroom R code and data folder, in content folder, there we have we have a subdirectory for today's class, and within that subdirectory there is this zip file called as Flexdashboard. So once you download this zip file, put this in the project folder where we are working right now. So it should start showing up like the way you see it in my case. Here I have this flexdashboard.zip, and then when I unzip this, there should be a folder called as Flexdashboard. And this Flexdashboard will have several R markdown files and HTML files that are already knit. So I'm just saving you time. So I'm going to pause here, give you a couple of minutes to download the file and unzip all the, download the folder and unzip all the files. If you